una negociación que es legítima, que no hay ningún problema por ello, pero sí que ha ocurrido sin ninguna información.
There we are. Events, dear boys, events. That is Luis Rubiales, president of the Spanish Football Federation, speaking this morning to a fairly shell-shocked Spanish and global media, and we know about what as well. He was delivering the news that Julian Lopetegui has been sacked in the good old-fashioned way, gone, finito. I do not feel betrayed. Julian's done a relentless job, but we are forced to move on because of how things have been done. He's professional, but his behaviour has not been correct. We cannot look the other way. You can't do things like that 5 minutes before it's official. 5 minutes was all the notice that Lopetegui gave the Spanish FA before Real Madrid went public with the news they had hired him. Guillem Balague is in Moscow, and don't pretend you weren't as shell-shocked as everyone over the last 24 hours. Nobody seemed to see this coming.
No, nobody saw it coming, even though it's quite clear that it seemed the wrong decision to announce this the way they did it, especially when you found out that actually the president of the federation had not found out about it until 5 minutes before. We knew that yesterday. We knew that he was fuming. We knew that Luis Rubiales left the FIFA Congress and got a plane past 11 o'clock in the evening and got to the concentration of the Spanish camp about past midnight. And from then on, he had one thing in his mind and one only, which was to sack Julian Lopetegui. The delays in the press conferences today had to do with the players trying to convince him to change his mind and to try to put into him a different perspective, which was, things have been done wrongly, but it's been 2 years, this process, we're all together, we all got to work together, especially that was led by Sergio Ramos, who of course is going to be and Julian Lopetegui next season. But all in all, he felt that, for Rubiales anyway, the best decision was to get rid of the problem and to focus everybody with the job in hand.
The timeline here is incredibly rushed when you look at it in the cold light of day. So May 22nd, Lopetegui signs a new contract extension, which is quite a big thing to get. You know, lots of countries, they hold their fire until the tournament is over. They see how their manager performs. This is a real show of faith in Lopetegui, who wouldn't be a massive name in world football. So that's May 22nd. May 31st, Zidane steps down and catches us all. So that's just 8 days. 8 days after Lopetegui signs a contract. And now here we are on June 12th. Madrid announced Lopetegui as their new manager. Why the rush? Why were Madrid so desperate to lock down Lopetegui just, 12 days after Zidane went? And why was Lopetegui so crazy as to tell his boss 5 minutes before it goes global?
Well, let me add to that chronology that you described, the fact that on last Friday, we are Wednesday today. It's Wednesday, yeah, it is Wednesday. Last Friday is when Real Madrid got in touch with Lopetegui for the first time.
Right.
He said, talk to my agent, and then on Monday, everything was decided. So again, you only need a weekend, really, to negotiate with Real Madrid. Obviously, Lopetegui wanted the job. Obviously, he was wrong in not telling the federation of what was going on, and many feel that Rubiales did the right decision by just reacting that way. For me, I just think that it's not the same to take decisions as to lead. Take decisions is that easy. You and me can do it.
Yeah.
Black and white, yes or no. But leading, sometimes it means turning things around to make it positive, and also perhaps using the moment to stamp your authority, even though in the case of Rubiales, which it sounds, well, I know him a little bit, so very Spanish, macho man, you cannot deal with him unless it's black and white.
Okay.
So having given that situation, he just went for the kill, and now of course he's been lucky enough that Fernando Hierro was in concentration, was in the camp with them, and basically just is going to take over. He feels capable of it. He's managed himself. But the rush from Real Madrid, well, it was 12 days since Zidane said that he was leaving, and they really did not know where to turn once they realized Pochettino couldn't make it. After that, it was just they put out there, they leaked 3 names. They said they were insisting on Pochettino, which was not true. They said Klopp was a possibility, which is not true. And Antonio Conte was a third possibility, which really doesn't suit Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they were in a kind of happy way. They just started thinking of other possibilities.
I totally agree with you on Rubiales, the president of the Spanish Football Federation, and just his decision here. So it's interesting, you know him, he's a bit of a macho man, because I really don't think he's done the right thing here, and especially if the players led by Ramos pleaded with him to keep Lopetegui. Like, fair enough, you know, you're angry, you feel betrayed. Rubiales has just let his ego and his own personal kind of feelings dictate here. You know, he kind of feels insulted. He's only in the job about a month ago. He was appointed about a month ago. It's almost like he feels he's taken this personally, and he can't he's afraid publicly to look, I suppose, weak in any kind of way.
Yeah, let me describe you a typical Moscow situation right now. I'm crossing a bridge. I'm on my way to the Red Square. All the cars have been stopped for like 20 minutes. Passing on the other direction is Gary Lineker, who just happens to pass by. He's seen me with my hand covering because it's very windy and shouting, so he's done exactly the same. He's been following me for a bit. He's been laughing and then he's gone away. That's a typical World Cup scene. Once you get close to the Red Square where everybody is broadcasting, you meet so many people.
Well, look, Guillem, if Gary Lineker wants to come on the phone live, we'll take him for a minute.
He's gone now. He just had his laugh and he's gone now. But yeah.
So Rubiales.
I agree with you. I just think that he should have taken things, calmed things down a little bit. I understand that a decision had to be made because of the immediacy of the World Cup arriving, of course. But it's not about you, Mr. Rubiales. It's about Spain. It's about what's best for the national side. To be honest, the more you think about it, the more problems you find. Like if you actually had kept Lopetegui, knowing that a lot of the squad of the players did not agree with the way he behaved, having told the players, forget everything else, it's all about the World Cup, let's focus on this, stopping questions in press conferences that didn't have to do with the World Cup, that kind of thing, and then all of a sudden you negotiated with Real Madrid.
Yeah.
So it is not the easiest of situations, and of course, as Rubiales said, he was never going to win this one. Whatever way he went, it was going to be criticisms. I stay in the side of thinking, you know, you could have just smacked his hand and said, you know, you shouldn't have done that, and move on. It would have been easy. Now it's, of course, a full-blown crisis. Yes. And let's see how the team reacts.
And Guillem, it's not an immediate concern, but if I'm Lopetegui, I am feeling a bit shell-shocked right now. I cannot believe how this whole thing has backfired, considering, you know, Friday was the first time I heard from Florentino Perez. Like, if I'm Lopetegui now, I'm one of the most divisive figures in the history of Spanish football. I would say plenty of Real Madrid supporters don't think very much of me, the way I've behaved and conducted myself. I would say, you know, Florentino Perez doesn't want this kind of toxic mess on his hands. Like, I mean, even Lopetegui's future, he's gone from having great job security, one of the best international sides in the world, to, I would think, being on the cusp of being fired at Real Madrid if things don't go very, very well, very, very quickly.
You know fans very well. You don't mean what you just said. These are fans of Real Madrid. On Thursday, they'll welcome the new manager, the guy who's going to lead them to more titles. Are the people are the fans in Madrid not big Spanish fans as well? No. Now the public opinion, because there isn't the Spanish football fan doesn't exist. Yeah, it really is people that happen to live in Russia, some travel just because of fun, but not really people that follow Spain all over the world for games or for World Cups. So it's an accidental kind of fan. Okay. Fans of Spain really are fans of Barcelona or Real Madrid or local teams. So from that point of view, Spain has been divided already between those that think that Rubiales did the right thing sacking Lopetegui, which happened to be most of them Barcelona fans, and those that think that Lopetegui did the right thing and behaved the right way and so different to Perez, which happened to be Real Madrid fans. Yeah. So it's how Spain is divided right now.
And one last question, because I appreciate you're making time for us and it's very busy. Within the Spanish squad, how united a unit do we think they are? It's been a contentious year in Catalonia for a start. I mean, a historic year in Catalonia. There's a power vacuum now of sorts. Whatever about Hierro's ability to fill that. I mean, are we looking at some kind of breakdown, some kind of divide between Madrid and Barcelona players potentially? Do we know? I'd say Piqué is sitting there seething at Florentino Perez and the whole mob in Madrid. I mean, it'll go two ways. They might shrug their shoulders and get on with it, but there could be anarchy.
I believe, knowing the players a little bit, they will just put their heads down, and second one of the first game, they will forget about everything. There'll be a lot of noise in between the games. Yeah. Once the games start, no problem. But at the same time, it's true that the age of innocence of 2010 or between 2008 and 2012 is over. For many reasons. People have been together for a long while. They felt compelled to tell their views on things, which has, yes, created a little bit of division, as you were saying about Piqué, certainly as well. Sergio Ramos has been strong against Barcelona in some cases. Yeah. So all that accumulates. There's no doubt about that. So let's have a last go with some of these guys. The only ones that have been since 2008 is Silva, Iniesta and Ramos. Ramos, of course, will continue. Iniesta is leaving. Silva will see. So with that in mind, let's just try to make the best out of it. And then soon, whoever comes next will have to start a new cycle, which really Lopetegui had started. Yeah. But you can see there's still remains of it in the way that some of the players have been behaving.
Okay. Look, amazing 24 hours in Spanish football, and thanks so much for joining us. I hope Moscow is good. I hope it's treating you well.
Yes, so far so good. It's been sunny after 2 days of raining, but traffic, I tell you, I don't know if you can hear the horn of the cars. Yeah. It's manic, really bad.
Okay, thanks so much, Guillem.
Cheers, bye.
So there we are, really interesting stuff from Guillem Balague. It really is extraordinary. Now, if only we could talk to somebody who might give us an insight into what it's like to go into a World Cup, something that you've dreamt about for so long and put in a lot of preparation for, and then one of your key figures leaves right on the eve of the tournament. Kevin Kilban, hello.
Hi, Joe. I can't help you there. Sorry, I'm struggling to help you in that one.
I couldn't think of any.
I was scraping the barrel now.
I couldn't think of any examples. I mean, if you want to throw one out there, we'll take it.
I'm not too sure. I don't know. Refresh me. Remind me. I don't know. I don't recall. No.
Hey, bloody hell! Unbelievable.
It's madness. Do you know what? Do you know what? I was the funniest thing I've heard in the last few days was you actually trying to describe or trying to explain Julian Lopetegui, trying to pronounce his name. That's one of the funniest things I've heard when you were on with Dan the other night. But
I've got good at it now.
No, you didn't. I can imagine you've had a lot of practice. Do you know what? It was so surprising. You get off the plane and then all of a sudden you're getting the news that he's gone. And first of all, last couple of days it was quite surprising that he got the Real Madrid job, because that's come from absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
And
Guillem was just saying there, the first time that Lopetegui heard from Madrid or from Perez was on the Friday. He said, talk to my agent. They offered him the job on the Monday. But before Friday, not a peep. And suddenly he's accepted the job on Monday. And then doesn't tell the Spanish FA for 24 hours for some bizarre reason until 5 minutes before Madrid decide to go global. And why he can't convince Madrid to hold the story for a few days or a week or two, that already shows the amount of respect they have for him.
That's what seems bizarre, doesn't it? That why couldn't he have had that clause within the contract to say, well, look, yes, I've agreed to come in, but let's just leave it. Give me the opportunity to speak to the Spanish FA. Give me the chance to speak to whoever he needs to speak to within the organisation and get it sorted. It's easily done. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. Now all of a sudden there's turmoil there within the squad. The only thing about it, Joe, just look at the players they've got within that squad. They've got Champions League winners. They've got World Cup winners. Is it really going to disrupt them that much? Yes, it can maybe cause a certain divide, and I get that totally. But I would imagine within that squad, they've got enough character, they've got enough winners within that squad that realistically, it shouldn't disrupt them as much as we could probably make it out to be. That's maybe the only thing that I'd look at with the experience they've got within that squad.
You preempted my next question. I was going to ask that, and to give us an insight into dressing rooms. At the very best of times, you're all fairly selfish, cold-hearted creatures. That's the nature of the game. The manager goes, the king is dead, long live the king. And even in such a weird way, on the eve of a World Cup, players are still pretty used to doing without managers. Barcelona, Real Madrid players have had how many managers in the last number of years? they'll probably digest this news pretty quickly. They'll look at Hierro. Look, he's okay. He vaguely, he's not an experienced manager, but he knows the game. And,
he played against us in 0-2, Joe. He played against us in 0-2.
Of course, yeah. So, they'll probably get to grips with this pretty quickly, I would think.
You would think so. They've got a set pattern the way that they play. It depends on the relationship, Joe. It depends on how hurt are the players that he's gone. How close are they to Lopetegui? That could play a part. We know that could be, but just the style of play that they've got, it's all built from what they've done with the club and what's probably been done for the last 10 years. It's not changed that dramatically over those 10 years. So I think in general they know exactly how they're going to play. They've got the calibre of players that's going to get them the results on the pitch anyway. So yeah, the only downside is the relationship. How close were they to Lopetegui? That could be a key issue. I don't know. I really don't know, Joe.
The best part of this thus far is that someone's just walked out of your hotel room on the screen there.
Someone's just been doing me bed. Someone's. Yeah, so it's mad stuff here that's going on, honestly. Stuff in Russia, honestly.
Sorry, radio listeners, I don't want to give you an image that you don't need. So we're talking to Kev, and it looks like a standard, suitably nice hotel. But someone just walked out the door carrying bed sheets, so that was the bloke doing your bed.
Do you want to tell you what he's done, right? So I was downstairs in reception.
Look, it's your privacy. You'd say as much as you're comfortable with.
Let me tell you this, what he's done, right? So the lads come just before you came online before, so he came and knocked at the door, and they said to me downstairs, look, you've got 2 twin beds in your room, we're going to put them together and make you a nice big bed. I said, oh yeah, great. So I've come up to the room. So I've got the bed's been made up as a king bed as it is. Great. So what the fella's come up and done, now he's turned it back to 2 singles.
Oh, for God's
sake. So he's killed me. It's amateur out here in Moscow. What can I say?
So this poor fella's come up and turned your king back into 2 singles.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to call a reception in 10 minutes, he's going to be back up again.
Joe, only you do that. I wouldn't act like a diva and do that. No, I wouldn't do that. No. That wouldn't be the case.
Well, okay. So Hierro, the quote from him was... let me dig it out. He said, I have just 1 year of experience in Oviedo and 1 year as an assistant coach. That was under Ancelotti at Real Madrid, and around 30 years in football. He kind of quipped at the end. So, he was an exceptional player and he was a leader as a player. Like, he did have that vibe. Yeah. Pretty scary for him, though, all the same.
It is. The leadership that you mentioned there, just that the word you said, that he was a leader as a player. Yeah. He's someone that everyone within that squad will immediately look up to. You can only look at it as maybe some sort of analogy when Zinedine Zidane took over at Real Madrid. They immediately looked to him straight away. He was a leader. He was a character that they could draw upon, and that's what within that Spanish squad. Do they need an awful lot of coaching? I would suggest probably not. They probably need someone to guide them, be that sort of father figure for them, and he can certainly provide that for them. But it's still daunting for him. In regards of anything, he's still been thrown into the spotlight on the eve of World Cup. It does have, of course, it does have the same sort of feeling as Saipan, and we were thrown under the spotlight, thrown out into the spotlight when we were least expecting it, really.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's scary for the players. The other thing I'm kind of curious to see, and we won't know until the next few days unfold, or it might even emerge after the World Cup, is Piqué and all the other Catalan players. Are they all sitting there looking over at Ramos and thinking, what did you know? When did did you know? Did they ask you did Florentino Perez call you and ask you what you made of Lopetegui? I bet he did, and you said nothing. Now, maybe it goes that way and it gets all a little bit messy, and then the Portugal game doesn't go well and this whole thing explodes into a mess. Or maybe, as you said, they shrug their shoulders, they say it's our last World Cup, lads, let's muck in together. That is going to be the interesting
That's what you'd expect, wouldn't you? That's what you would expect the lads. They've got to muck in, because you said there's several of the squad. It's the last World Cup, so they need to actually just think. Well, I'll tell you what, we've got to be in it together. From speaking to Graham Hunter and Andy West over the last year or two, we've asked them that question about is there that divide within that Spanish squad, and the suggestion is no. They've kind of put all the differences to bed. When it's Real Madrid, Barcelona, yes, there's that bite, there's that needle, but when they get together for the international setup, it doesn't seem to be there. So you would hope that would be the case coming into the tournament, yeah.
This has happened, obviously, 2 days out less. How quickly in 2002 did you pretty much say to yourself, look, he's gone, big deal, whatever, it's my World Cup, it's the biggest moment of my life, I'm getting on with things? Was it a day? Was it half an hour? Players, I'd say, reached that point one way or another pretty quickly. Was it in 2002 when you kind of said to yourself, well, I'm still here, I got to perform?
You've answered the question maybe at the start, Joe, when you said players are selfish.
Yeah.
That was the way it was for me. It was my everything rolled into one. It was everything I'd looked up to everything I'd looked to achieve playing a World Cup since Mexico '86, 6-7 years old. That's what I was just looking forward to.
Kev,
he's back now again. He's back.
Kev, the guy is back in your room. The guy's back in your room, Kev.
Hi, mate. How you doing? And I don't speak any Russian, so I can't even have the conversation with him to tell him what I want from him.
I don't think when you said hiya mate, he knew he was talking to you. Radio listeners, I'll just describe what's happened. The guy's come back into Kev's room and he's carrying bed sheets again. Is he turning your twin back into a king?
Yeah, no. He's getting me 2 single duvets now. He's
doubling down.
On the bed.
You got to tell him you want a king. You got to send him back. Take him back with the king.
Yeah, should we have the conversation with him to have the chat with him and say, look, mate, I tell you what, can you...
Oh, no, leave him.
I'm going to have to leave him be because I can't explain to him. I can't even have a conversation to tell him that I want it to be a double bed again.
Get up Google Russian Translate there and try and say, no, king bed. Your room looks pretty nice. Nice funky carpet.
See, Joe, the weather's really nice. It's 20 degrees when we've landed in. I was in with Pat Nevin, Laurel, Martin Keown and Danny Murphy. Nice flight, not a bother at all. 3.5 hour, 4 hour flight. It's great.
Lovely.
So it's come in, and it's a busier city than from when I was here last time, which you can imagine on the eve of the World Cup as well. So it's madness.
He's going again.
He's gone.
He's leaving. Give him a wave.
Good man. Thanks, mate. Cheers, Cocker. Cheers, mate. It's honestly everything's geared well, I think. Even speaking to people around the airport was manic.
You just landed today, didn't you?
Yeah, there's been a lot of delays. There's been a lot of cancellations, so a lot of the flights had to be changed around. So I've ended up coming in today now. So, but it's all good. Everything's great, to be honest with you. They said that brand new airport here as well. So everything seems great. It looks, again, it seems a lot more or a lot better city than the last time I was here. We was here just after the World Cup when it just didn't seem as cosmopolitan. It seemed a lot different from when I was here last time.
Right, okay. I guess it's 16, 17 years now?
16 years. 16 years since last year. Incredible. It does seem, it is a total different place, or it seems like a totally different place now, yeah.
What's your first game?
I am doing Peru and Denmark on Saturday.
Oh, could have been us. Could have been us, Kev. That's the one. I think that's why I've been put on it, just specifically to try and go on about Denmark for the whole of the 90 minutes. Yeah, but I'm on commentary on that game Saturday, so I'm looking forward to it. Actually, I'm seeing Peru. It wouldn't be one that would be getting you going as much, Joe, but I'm looking forward to it. I think Denmark aren't a great side, as we know, but I think Peru might provide a bit of excitement to the game. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, and then I guess we'll talk in the meantime then, and then on you go. What's any other standout group games on your horizon?
I've got a Colombia game. I've got a Portugal game. I've got Portugal's second game. I've got a Germany game. So I've got some good teams in the group. Yeah, who I'll be commentating on. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to them. Yeah. Okay, good stuff. Listen, enjoy your hotel room. Enjoy the next few days. And how's it going over there? You missing me? It just seems a little bit empty, the studio, without me sat in beside you to your left, Joe. That's what it seems to me.
I feel incredibly alone without you, spiritually, emotionally. Not physically.
It seems very, very. Don't say physically. It seems very hollow words, Joe. That's what it seems to me.
Not at all. No. Look, I'm delighted you're having a good time, and thanks so much for making time for us. I know you're busy. I know you and all the football men are out for dinner tonight. So,
well, do you know what we've got tonight? We've got dinner tonight. We've got the welcome drinks. So apparently it's called the talent drinks tonight, Joel. So I've got to go for the drinks and snacks tonight.
Oh, so sorry, you're the talent. Oh, I see. Okay, the talent drinks.
Apparently so. Yeah.
Okay. So. Excellent. Okay. Thanks so much. Enjoy. We'll talk to you when we talk to you.
All right. Cheers, lads. All the best. Cheers, Joel.
Off the ball on News Talk.
You thought you'd found the best electricity deal, but you hadn't. Because our price check proves that only Electric Ireland customers get the best value year after year. So, if you're not already with Electric Ireland, switch now at electricireland.ie or at 1850 30 50 90. Saying we'll save you money is smart. Proving it is smarter. Electric Ireland, that's smarter living. Conditions apply. Direct debit online.